What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of New Parenting Training. So today I'll be talking about the third installment of this series on credit. And today's topic is on 5 ways that you can manage your credit wisely. So if you haven't followed our channel lately, so we have two other videos on credits. First one was on what is credit, and the second one is what goes into your FICO score. Before we start this video today, make sure that you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider to subscribe. Okay, all right, let's get to it. So number one is to build your credit as soon as possible. That means when you hit the age of 18, you should start building your credit. I know a lot of people out there that when they are age of 18, they probably haven't even got their first job yet, let alone to have able to get a credit card. So that is okay. What you can do is to become the secondary card holder to your parents' credit card account. So this is kind of like a double-edged sword. Now, if your parents already have like really good credit score, then when you add on as a secondary account holder, then your credit score will get built along with it. Because to the credit card issuer, the person who's responsible for the entire billing statement should be on the primary card holder. So that means if you are attached to your parents' account, then your parents will be the one who's paying off the bills at the end of the month. Some of the things that you need to be careful of is that in order for you to build your credit score this way, your last name must be the same with the primary account holder's last name, and you also have to be living in the same address. For the parents, this is a really good way to start off your kid in the right financial direction. So giving them a first credit card that's attached to your primary credit card, then you can actually monitor their usage. I know a lot of credit cards out there that set a limit. You can limit the amount that the secondary card holder can use. So that's another great way to help your kids to better manage their budget as well. But just be mindful that if the primary account holder, for whatever reason, being late, then the secondary account will get dinged as well. Now, that is for someone who is able to get on a secondary account, or the primary account holder's credit is really good, then getting onto as a secondary, it makes sense. But for people out there who has limited credit and or they don't have any other means of family member to help them out in terms of building their credit history, then another way to go about with it is to get a secure card. Secure card kind of acts like a credit card, but it's secured to something. Mostly is toward the money, and you have to deposit money into the card itself before you can actually use it. It acts like a credit card. So by the end of the month, the card issuer will report to the credit agency. So that's a great way to start building your credit history if you cannot get a credit card. All right, number two, getting an annual credit report. Now, guys, this is free. Okay, you might have seen it somewhere that people charge you money for getting a credit report. No, that's completely BS. Just know that it is within your own rights to have a free credit report every year. Now, where you can get this is through either the 3 credit bureaus, and your credit card might sometimes offer free credit report as well, and or just go to this website called annualcreditreport.com. It's really simple, right? And you just have to request each report from each credit bureau individually. So having a credit report is very important. You can see like if there's anything that's having issue. Like for me, when I look at my credit report, I will see that sometimes, so I have a middle name, and sometimes some of the credit card will have my middle name and my first name together. But that's okay. I mean, that is still me. So like things like of that sort, you just want to make sure that your information out there is actually correct, and places you have lived, are they still up to date? Having a credit report is extremely important, so you can then go in to see what need to be fixed. That leads to my third point. The third point is to correct your credit report. Now, if you see anything out of place on your credit report, things such as an outstanding balance for a cell phone carrier that you had 2 years ago. Now, that's very important to get it out of your credit report, because that's a negative item on your credit report that will essentially hurt your credit score. So what you want to do is to dispute anything that you see out of place. For instance, if you do find out there is a delinquency or outstanding bill that you haven't paid with XYZ, then it is good time that to make sure that the bill is actually settled. If it's already been settled but it's not updated on credit report, then it's best time for you to dispute that item. Now, as I mentioned before, you can dispute anything on there. What you do is you either do it via online or you call them up and tell them and give them some kind of proof that it has been done. Now, the credit agency will do their own research, make sure that, well, they cannot just take your word for it, right? You cannot just tell them, oh, okay, that bill has been settled, but they need to find out on their own as well to make sure that it's already been settled. Once they have done so, then that negative item will get rid of from your credit report. Not always they're able to finish as soon as you want them to. Sometimes it takes longer, but usually if they are unable to do so within 30 days, they will remove the item first and then they will continue to do their research. So that opens doors in terms of gray area. So there are some companies out there that offering service where they can help you improve your credit score within 30 days. So what they end up doing is they dispute everything on that's negative on your report. So all the things that you do have a outstanding bill to, they dispute that as well. So by the end of 30 days, if the credit bureau are unable to do all their research, they get those negative stuff out of the way. So on paper, all of a sudden your report looks very clean and your FICO score, of course, will go up because there's no more negative stuff on it. But then later on, the credit agency come back and go like, well, this outstanding amount, you still owe money. This is still ongoing case. So then the credit agency will put back the negative item back on your credit report. And then at the end of the day, you still end up having a bad credit score because all the outstanding balance were not taken care of. So just FYI, if a company out there offering service to help you improve your credit score, ask them how they actually going to do it. Because if this is how they do it, then yeah, by all means, don't waste your money or time on it. Because eventually those outstanding bill will just come right back onto your report. So the fourth item I want to talk about today is that pay your bills on time. I know a lot of people who are busy with their day-to-day life, they might have accidentally forgot to pay a bill. So just set an alert or a calendar notification that you need to pay XYZ on this particular time frame each month. And so that way you will not miss any due dates. Now I know that not everyone able to pay all the bills on time because payday is every 2 weeks or sometime maybe once a month. You might just miss the window of paying the bills. Be mindful that if it's credit card, they do offer the minimum payment. If you're unable to pay the full amount, make sure that you at least pay the minimum payment by the due date. That will consider your account current, meaning up to date. Now, and also get this, if you are unable to meet even the minimum or simply just forgot to pay the bill, there is a grace period. You just have to make sure you communicate with your creditor how long is the grace period is. Let's say you're supposed to pay the bill by January 30th. By January 31st, you realize you haven't paid, and then all of a sudden you want to pay the entire bill. You are late to your creditor, there might be a late fee or even interest, that depending on what the term is, but you might not be late to the credit bureau. In terms of credit card, there usually be a 30 days grace period. Number 5, sign up with free monitoring service. Back in 2017, Equifax, which is one of the credit bureau, got hacked. Like millions of Americans' personal information were taken by the hackers. Then Equifax came out with a solution that they will give either 1 year of free monitoring service or a check with a value attached to it. I think it's 120 something. Because the hacking is being so frequent now, I mean, Target got hacked, Capital One got hacked, Capital One lost a lot of personal data as well. So yeah, it's quite scary. So it's best for you to sign up with some kind of monitoring service. Now, Capital One has a free service called Capital Wise. So with the free monitoring service, what they do is they will monitor your credit report. And if at any point someone tries to get your credit score or get your credit report, then they will notify you to make sure that nobody is misusing your information. Now, another thing is to, let's say if you are not planning on applying for any car loans or buying a house in the foreseeable future or even a credit card, then consider to freeze your account. You can do that with a credit monitoring service as well. One of the great things about credit freeze is that nobody can touch it, not even you. So if you want to apply for a credit card, you need to unfreeze your credit first before you can apply for anything that's new. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So that's my 5 ways of how to manage your credit wisely. So let me know down below if you have any questions or any suggestions in terms of the stuff that I've been talking about in this video or in this series. Hopefully you'll find this series being informative. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, bye.